Hey guys, it's your boy Toki here with another Mythic Sanctum of Domination raid guide. In this guide, I'm going to be going over common pain points we have on Mythic Painsmith Raznal. Important to note, I'm not going to be going over any of the intermission phases. So if you find yourself dying in the intermission phase, I highly recommend you check out my intermission guide. It's chock full of helpful tips and tricks to get you from safe spot to safe spot as efficiently and consistently as possible. So with that out of the way, our first pain point here happens in Phase 2 during the ball and chain sets. And more specifically, when the balls spawn next to the raid. I think the whole raid knows that we need to stay in the safe box, but it's very tempting when the balls spawn near for ranged players to try to push the envelope and get to the very edge of the box so they can get more casts off without having to move for the balls. However, what happens here is it's often misjudged where the box is, and they'll oftentimes get clipped by the spikes coming from the chains in the middle of the room. And so, really important that the range pay attention to the edge of this box and don't get clipped by the spikes like we see here. Basically, what this does is people will get one shot and the pull is over because we're not going to have enough battle reses or DPS to finish out the DPS checks on this boss. Now, I also want to show you another Phase 2 ball and chain set here because Painsmith Raznal has this sneaky mechanic. I think everyone understands the mechanics dramatically change between phases. However, even within phases, the mechanics change. It's a lot more subtle, and it's just slight timing differences, but it means a lot, especially if you're relying on muscle memory on how to move and how to react to these. And more specifically, this is going to delay when the hammer comes out and when the spikes come out. And so our safety box is going to be much smaller. And so we'll see as the balls progress here and the spikes hit, we have a little bit less than 2 free and clear rows here to be in and not get hit by the spikes. So again, incredibly important. Everyone, especially the range, needs to pay attention to where the safety box is and stay next to these balls, especially as Phase 2 goes on, because that safety box will be shrinking. Okay, on to the next pain point. This also happens in Phase 2, and this happens during the trap set. Now, a lot of people don't have alarm bells going off in their head about the trap set. However, we'll often find that we'll lose 1 or 2 players during the set. Why is that? Well, chains go out in the middle of the set, and we don't do a really good job of stacking up as a raid. We oftentimes will be lightly spread, and then players who get the chain debuff will be a little bit late getting out of the raid, and the people who are kind of spread to the edges are going to get booped off routinely. And so actually we'll see that play out here. So as the traps are getting cleared, the chain debuffs are going to go out. We have a player that's a little bit spread too far, and then these chains are going to kind of wall him out, and he's going to get booped off. Just like that. Now, there's plenty of other ways the chains could have moved. They could have more aggressively crossed the spike wall. They could have moved out of the raid earlier. A lot of different things could have happened, but regardless of all of that, if you are stacked up in the raid nice and tight next to these traps, next to the boss, you're not going to get that mechanic hit you. Now, if the chains don't move out of the raid, that's on them. That's something they have to address. But more than likely, they will get the chains out of the raid. They're not going to hit the entire raid with them, and you're going to be much safer all stacked together here under the boss. Okay, well, hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in-game or on Discord. Be more than happy to help or go over any of the footage with you. And I look forward to clearing this boss with you.